Elena was feeling excited and nervous. Today was a very special day. She was going shopping for the first time in the United States. It was not just any shopping trip, it was her chance to practice speaking real English in real life. Elena had studied English for many months. She had learned grammar, vocabulary, and many useful sentences. But speaking with real people was something she had not done before. She wanted to do well, but a small part of her was afraid. What if she made a mistake? What if people did not understand her? Before leaving the house, Elena stood in front of the mirror. She took a deep breath and smiled. Smiling helped her feel more confident. She said to herself, I am ready. I can do this. She practiced some sentences in her mind. How much does this cost? Can I try this on? I'll pay with a card, please. These sentences felt strong in her memory. She felt a little nervous, but mostly excited. She was ready to take her first real step. At that moment, her best friend, Sarah, came into the room. Sarah was full of energy and happiness. Let's go shopping, Sarah said. I want to buy you a gift today. Elena's eyes grew wide. A real gift? She could not believe it. This made the day even more special. Elena thanked Sarah and smiled again. Today was not just about shopping. It was about making memories. It was about becoming more confident in English. As they drove to the mall, Elena looked out of the window. Everything looked big and new. She repeated the important sentences quietly to herself. She wanted to be ready. She wanted to speak clearly and politely. She remembered her teacher's advice. Take deep breaths, speak slowly, and do not be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Elena promised herself that she would try her best, even if she made a few mistakes. The car stopped in front of the mall. Elena's mouth opened wide in surprise. The mall was huge. It had so many lights, so many people, and so many stores. It felt a little scary, but also very exciting. Elena took another deep breath and reminded herself, I am ready. I can do this. Sarah took Elena's hand and pulled her gently forward. Let's find your perfect dress, Sarah said with a big smile. Elena followed, her heart beating fast but happy. She could not wait to practice her English in a real conversation. Before walking into the mall, Elena decided to use a small new trick she had learned called speaking breathing. She stopped for a moment, closed her eyes, and took 3 slow breaths. After each breath, she whispered, I am brave. I am ready. I can do this. It made her feel stronger and calmer. The doors opened and a wave of cool air hit Elena's face. Inside, there were so many stores, each filled with colorful clothes, shoes, and bright lights. Music played in the background. Families, couples, and groups of friends walked around, laughing and talking. It felt like stepping into another world. Sarah walked quickly, leading the way. Elena stayed close, looking around with wide eyes. She noticed signs that said sale, new arrivals, and fitting room. She felt proud because she understood most of the English words. Her hard work was paying off. She was not just memorizing words anymore, she was living them. They stopped in front of a big clothing store. Inside, Elena could see rows and rows of dresses as shirts and jeans. Sarah turned to her and said, "Pick anything you like." Elena smiled. It felt like a dream, a real shopping trip, speaking real English, and choosing her very own gift. As she stepped into the store, Elena reminded herself again, it is okay to make mistakes. Every word she spoke, even if it was not perfect, unbenaturalt, was a step toward becoming better. She felt her excitement grow even stronger. Today was the day she would take her first big step in using English out loud, and she was ready. Without knowing it, Elena was already doing something very powerful. She was practicing shadowing in real life, listening carefully, speaking clearly, copying the words she had learned. Every step she took, every sentence she said, was building her confidence. Today was not just a shopping trip, today was a new beginning. Elena was ready to speak. Elena was ready to learn. Elena was ready to shine. Elena followed Sarah into the clothing store. The store was full of colors, sounds, and people. Everywhere she looked, there were shirts, jeans, jackets, and beautiful dresses. The bright lights made the clothes shine. Elena felt like she was inside a movie. It was exciting, but she also felt a little nervous. Would she be able to speak English well here? Sarah smiled at her. "Pick anything you like," she said. Elena nodded. She felt ready. She remembered all the sentences she had practiced before. She repeated them quietly in her mind. "Can I try this on? How much does this cost? I'll pay with a card, please." Elena knew she could do it. She just needed to be brave. While Elena was looking at the dresses, a friendly salesperson walked toward them. She wore a blue shirt and had a kind smile. She said, "Hello, welcome. Can I help you?" Elena's heart jumped. This was her first real English conversation in America. She took a deep breath, smiled, and answered, "Yes, I need a new dress." The salesperson nodded. "Great! What color do you like?" she asked. Elena felt happy. She understood the question perfectly. "I like red," she said proudly. The salesperson pointed to a wall full of beautiful red dresses. "We have many red dresses. What size do you wear?" she asked. Elena answered quickly, "Medium." She felt a warm glow inside her chest. She was speaking English. She was understanding English. Everything was going perfectly. The salesperson went to pick a dress. She came back with a bright red dress in her hands. It looked beautiful. Elena loved it at first sight. She touched the soft fabric and smiled. It was exactly the kind of dress she had dreamed about. Now it was time for her to ask the next question. She needed to try the dress on to make sure it fit well. She looked at the salesperson and said with a big smile, "Can I taste this?" For 1 second, there was silence. Elena did not notice anything wrong. She waited for the salesperson to answer. Then, suddenly, Sarah burst out laughing. The salesperson started laughing too. Elena looked around, confused. What was so funny? Why were they laughing? Sarah tried to speak, but she could not stop laughing. Finally, she said, "Elena, you said taste. Tastes, not try. Elena felt her face get hot. She saw it. She realized her mistake. She had said taste instead of try. She had asked if she could eat the dress. She covered her face with her hands. She felt so embarrassed. She wanted to disappear. Oh no, she said. I meant to try. Can I try this? The salesperson was still smiling. Don't worry, she said kindly. You can try it on. We are not eating dresses today. Elena laughed a little. Sarah was laughing so hard she had tears in her eyes. She joked, Elena, do you want ketchup with your dress? Even though Elena felt embarrassed, she could not stop herself from laughing too. It was funny. She had made a mistake, but no one was angry. No one made her feel bad. They were laughing with her, not at her. It made her feel a little better. Sarah hugged her. This is the best shopping trip ever, she said. Elena laughed again. Maybe it was not so bad. Maybe this was not a disaster. Maybe it was a funny memory that she would remember forever. She promised herself that she would never forget the difference between taste and try again. Mistakes are part of learning. Elena understood that now. When you make a mistake, you feel a little embarrassed, but you also learn something very deeply. You never forget that lesson. Elena would always remember to say, Can I try this on? And not, Can I taste this? After laughing together, Elena took the dress and walked toward the fitting room. Her steps were lighter now. She was still a little red in the face, but she was smiling. This shopping trip had given her something special. Not just a dress, but a memory. A memory that would make her stronger and more confident in English. Making mistakes is not the end of learning. It is the beginning. Elena had made a small mistake, but she had gained a big lesson. And that lesson would stay with her forever. Elena stepped into the fitting room, still feeling a little shy, but also laughing at herself. She looked at the beautiful red dress in her hands. She smiled and thought, this dress is not for eating. It is for trying on. Her heart was still beating fast, but now she felt a little stronger inside. She had made a mistake, yes, but she had survived it. And even better, she had learned something important. Inside the fitting room, Elena changed into the red dress. She looked at herself in the mirror. The dress fit perfectly. It made her feel happy, confident, and beautiful. For a moment, she forgot about her mistake. She simply smiled and admired how nice the dress looked. She turned around once or twice, feeling proud of herself. She was proud not only because of the dress, but because she had dared to speak English with real people. She had dared to try. She stepped out of the fitting room to show Sarah and the salesperson. Sarah clapped her hands and said, Wow, Elena, you look amazing. The salesperson smiled too and said, Good choice. Elena's heart felt warm. Their kind words made her feel proud. She stood taller and smiled bigger. She realized that even with her small mistake, everything was still good. People were kind. People understood. And now she had a funny story to tell. It was time to buy the dress. Elena and Sarah walked to the cashier's counter. Elena held her dress carefully. She felt ready to complete her shopping trip. When they reached the cashier, the woman behind the counter asked, "Will you pay with cash or card?" Elena smiled with confidence and answered, "Card, please." She gave her card to the cashier, who typed something on the computer and took payment. Just as the cashier handed her the shopping bag, she smiled and said jokingly, "Are you sure you don't want to taste another dress?" For a second, Elena froze. Then she laughed out loud. This time, she was not embarrassed at all. She shook her head and said with a big smile, "No, thank you. I don't eat clothes." Everyone around laughed warmly, and Elena laughed too. She realized that making a mistake once had taught her a lesson she would never forget. As they left the store, Sarah put her arm around Elena's shoulder. "You were amazing today," Sarah said. Elena laughed. "Even when I tried to eat the dress?" Sarah smiled. "Especially because of that," she said. "Now you will always remember, and you will never be afraid to speak English again." Elena thought about it. Sarah was right. If she had not made a mistake, she might have stayed afraid. But now, she had proof that even when things went wrong, they could still be okay. People laughed, but they laughed kindly. They helped her, not hurt her. Making mistakes was not scary anymore. It was part of the journey. At that moment, Elena made a promise to herself. She would speak English every chance she got. She would not wait until her English was perfect. She would not hide. She would speak, make mistakes, laugh, learn, and grow. Every mistake would make her better. Every mistake would make her stronger. On the way home, Elena and Sarah talked and laughed about the day. Elena decided to start a new habit. She would keep a small notebook called her mistake journal. In it, she would write every funny mistake she made when speaking English. But instead of feeling bad, she would celebrate it. She would smile at every entry and remember that each mistake was a sign of her courage to speak. Elena also thought of a new way to practice English. She would ask Sarah to do role plays with her. They could pretend to shop, order food, buy train tickets, and more. They would create funny conversations and practice English in a fun way. By laughing and practicing, Elena would continue to improve. She would build not only her English skills, but also her confidence. Elena realized something very important that day. Speaking a new language is not about being perfect. It is about being brave. It is about trying, laughing, and never giving up. She learned that mistakes are not the end. They are a new beginning. They are a sign that you are moving forward. As the sun set and the car drove toward home, Elena looked out of the window and smiled. Today, she bought a beautiful red dress. But more than that, she had gained something far more precious. She had gained belief in herself. She knew the journey would not always be easy, but she also knew that with every step, every word, every laugh, she was getting better. She was becoming stronger. She was becoming the English speaker she had always dreamed of being. Today, you followed Elena's journey. You saw her excitement, her nervous feelings, her funny mistakes, and her big success. Elena started her day with hope and a little fear. She wanted to speak English in a real situation. She wanted to be brave. She wanted to grow. Even though she made a small mistake, she did not give up. She laughed, learned, and kept going. In the end, she felt more confident and proud of herself. Elena's story teaches us something very important. It teaches us that making mistakes is not a bad thing. Mistakes are a part of learning. When we make a mistake, we remember the lesson better. We grow stronger. We laugh, we learn, and we become better speakers. Elena learned that it is okay to feel nervous. It is okay to feel shy. What matters is to keep trying, to keep speaking, and to enjoy the journey. In life, not just in learning English, this lesson is very powerful. Many times, we are afraid to try because we fear making mistakes. But if we never try, we never grow. If we never make mistakes, we never learn. So, the next time you feel afraid to speak English, remember Elena. Remember her smile, her laughter, and her courage. You can do the same. Speak bravely, laugh freely, learn joyfully. Now, let's celebrate. You have listened to the full story. You have practiced your English listening and reading. You have learned new words, new phrases, and a very important life lesson. You are making great progress in your English journey. You should feel proud of yourself. Before you go, let's do a small quiz to make it even more fun. What mistake did Elena make when speaking English in the store? A. She asked to eat the dress. B. She asked for a discount. Please write your answer, A or B, in the comments. I would love to see how many of you got it right. If you enjoyed this story and want to keep improving your English with more fun and easy stories, please subscribe to the channel. Your support gives us the energy to create more free and helpful content for you. Also, if you feel this channel has helped you and you would like to support our work, please consider donating. Creating high-quality free content takes a lot of time and effort, especially in the beginning when resources are very limited. Your donation will help us keep this project alive and growing, and help even more people learn English. Thank you so much for being here. Keep learning, keep smiling, and see you in the next lesson.